Good morning, y'all, and welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining me. So today we are going to do a whole lot of work for our company, and we're not going to make a single dollar today, but it's just part of running your own business. There's a lot of things you do that don't directly make you money, but they're things you have to do because you are now a small business owner. So first things first, we need to go get ready for a job we're doing tomorrow. We're gonna need all this stuff for tomorrow. We also need this. Now that we have everything we need, our first stop is to pick up the trailer we need to do the job. So this is my open trailer that I borrowed from my father-in-law. It's a 16-foot open trailer. And when you see what I do with it, you're gonna understand why I need a dump trailer in my life. Welcome to the local nursery and earth products. So we're here to pick up some crushed granite and a pallet of flagstone for a project we're doing. Wait until you see how we have to load this open trailer for that kind of stuff, and you'll understand why I need a dump trailer more than you know. So as you can see, we are not using our open trailer as it's intended because we're using it as a dump trailer. So there is our flagstone, and there is our 1 yard of crushed granite. We've strapped the tarp down, we put the wheelbarrow on top, hopefully trying to keep all that inside the trailer. Usually does a pretty good job. How do I know this? Because, well, we do this once a week, sometimes twice a week. And these are the types of jobs that I've been getting so much of that has me wondering, what kind of equipment do I need for next year? One, we need a dump trailer. 100% need a dump trailer. That would go to work today. But secondly, having a skid steer would be awesome because then we could just load the pallet on the skid steer and take the whole pallet of flagstone to the work area. Now we have to use a wheelbarrow and truck each one individually, about 4 or 5 rocks at a time, to the work area. And sometimes we can't park the trailer very close to the work area. It would also be very useful with the skid steer to transport the crushed granite to where we're working as well. But that's why I've been talking about. Dump trailer and skid steer could go to work immediately. Besides this type of work, I need to figure out how to justify a skid steer for other days when it's not doing this type of work. How can I utilize that asset to its fullest potential? Yes, it would be awesome for these types of jobs, but really, if you're gonna spend that kind of money on a skid steer, you kind of need to make these types of jobs your priority. So then we become a landscaping company and not really a lawn care company, because that is really where our time and energy is going into, because we've invested the kind of money we need to do that type of work. Skid steer, tractor, dump trailer, all the things, because we're at a point in our business where depending on how we invest our money and the jobs we go after could really change the whole direction of what it is we actually do here at Cutting Edge. Right now, we're just a lawn care company that does some landscaping. But in the future, we could be a landscaping company that just does some lawn care. So anyway, let's go drop this stuff off. All right, so we have our supplies dropped off for tomorrow's job. And these are the types of things I do all the time. I'm technically working for free. I'm not working for free in the sense that I have a job tomorrow, but today I'm doing all the prep work essentially for free because I'm not making any money today off of the things I'm doing, but it's part of the things you gotta do if you want your business to run successfully. Like, I have 2 employees helping me tomorrow. If I were to wait till tomorrow to get my supplies, I'm paying them to just ride around with me and not actually work on the job. So the things I do today are to set me up for success for tomorrow. Speaking of success for the future, we have a few clients we need to go visit and give some quotes for some jobs that we potentially want to go after. And we are back home at the home base, or the office as I like to call it. So we stopped at 3 potential customers on the way home and gave them quotes. One was a pressure washing job. We'll probably get that job next week. We have a small landscaping job that we can go 50-50 on if we get it. And we have a major cleanup job, which could also go 50-50 on whether or not we get the job. So we didn't get a definite yes and we didn't get a definite no, but that's not necessarily a good thing or a bad thing. It just is what it is. So there's some things I've learned about quoting. If you get every job you quote, you're probably not charging enough. And if you don't get any of the jobs you quote, you're charging too much. And this one, well, I can tell I'm right there at the budget. So we discuss things, we know what their budget is, and my price is pretty close to their budget. So usually when you're right there, borderline on their budget or above their budget, they usually take some time to think about it. Most likely I will get the jobs, and most likely I may come down some, meet them in the middle. We'll do whatever it takes to get the job done, as long as it makes sense for the company and for the customer. Quoting is another thing that I do all the time that I make $0 from. So far today, I've went and spent money on landscaping materials. I've delivered them to the customer, spoke to the customer about it, set the job up for tomorrow. I made $0 off that. I've quoted 3 jobs today and potentially set up jobs for next week and the week after, but I still technically made $0 off of that as well. And now I'm about to do something I'm gonna spend money on and make $0 also. That is maintenance on my truck. So my truck is in need of an oil change. So today we are gonna take care of that. Oil is changed. So we have our recycled oil in the new tubs. We have our old oil filter. You can actually take these to any O'Reilly's or AutoZone and they will recycle them for you. So that's what's later today. Now normally I try to save as much money as I can for my business by doing maintenance myself. So for this truck right here, 100% of the time, if the oil change involves a fuel filter, I will do it myself. If it just involves an oil change, it depends on how busy I am, because I really don't save a ton of money on just an oil change doing it myself, maybe $30-$40, but I don't do it as fast as the quick lube places. So if I'm really busy, like really busy, and my time would be more valuable working instead of doing maintenance, I will pay to have the dealership or a quick lube change do the oil change. But if it's an oil filter change and a fuel filter change, 100% I'm doing it myself, because they really gouge you on the fuel filter, and it's a 10-minute job. It's actually very easy. So most of the time I try to do everything myself that I can, because, well, it saves money for the business. And my philosophy is the same for every piece of equipment that's in that trailer. Welcome to the trailer. And let me talk more about doing things yourself for your equipment. Like this Skag Tiger Cat 2, it's awesome. It has an awesome warranty on it. But I do all the maintenance myself. So air filters, fuel filters, spark plugs, oil changes, blades, all the maintenance I do myself, because, well, time is money. I can do all that much faster than the dealership can. Plus, I think it's a skill you should know if you run equipment for a living, how it works and how to take care of it. Also, this thing has an awesome warranty. But just because it's a warranty does not mean it's going to the dealership every time. I've had things that broke or needed repaired, and I just drove by the dealership, let them look at it in the trailer. They gave me the part, and I changed it out myself, because I can't afford to have my mower sitting at the dealership. And if you're really busy, you should learn to take care of your own equipment. That way you don't have to rely on the dealership, except for those really major problems. But if you buy brand new equipment, you should only have major problems when it's probably time to look at replacing that piece of equipment. Now, not everything gets the same treatment in this trailer. This, huge investment. My truck, huge investment. That right there, not really a huge investment. Those right there, not really a huge investment. That pole saw, pretty pricey, but overall, most of that, pretty cheap. Blowers, they're a little expensive, but overall, not that expensive in the big scheme of things. All this stuff, even the chainsaws, not super expensive. But I still do all the maintenance myself, because that's how you save yourself money. Now my philosophy on some of this equipment, like for example, my Echo 3410 chainsaw, that cost me $180. That thing has probably paid for itself 30 times. So as far as I'm concerned, that is amazing. It's paid for, profit maker all wrong. Now, if something were to happen with that machine, I have to make a choice. It only cost me 180 bucks brand new. It's done well paid for itself. And I know if you drop it off the shop, you're probably looking at 50, 60 bucks minimum just for them to look at it. Well, it doesn't take long at a shop for the repair cost to outweigh the cost of a brand new one. So when it comes time to do certain things, if it's 40, 50 bucks, we'll probably try to do it ourselves or we'll take it to a shop. But if it starts to approach the cost of replacement, well, then we're likely just going to replace it because that is an asset for money. Now, yeah, we'd like to have a backup running, so we might do the repairs ourselves. But when it comes to a shop on these little things, I most of the time will decide, is the repair worth it versus the replacement cost? For this one, it doesn't take much. For this chainsaw, it takes a lot of repair to get close to replacement cost. And the same goes for my blowers and my pole saws. You might repair those, but like the power heads over there that are for the edger and the weed eater, those are so cheap to buy new ones that it doesn't take long at a shop to cost more to repair than it does to replace. So that being said, I try to do all my maintenance myself like you saw today. And again, that's a job that is a requirement to run your own business, but it actually makes you zero money. It does cost you money, but in the long run, it saves you money by not making money, if you know what I mean. We need to do some maintenance to these chainsaws because, well, we've been using them and some of them got to try to cut down some fences last week. And by fences, barbed wire fences. We were doing a fence clean out and both these chainsaws, well, they got hung up in the wire. So those chains are shot and we need to change them. All right, so we have all the blades changed on the chainsaws. I even checked out my pole saws. It looks like they did some extracurriculars last week too, and those chains were shot. So we have all new blades on all of our chained cutting equipment. So 2 pole saws, 2 chainsaws. We even did some lubrication of our hedge trimmers. And that is a lot of what I do as a business owner. I'm not always riding my mower around cutting lawns or doing landscaping or major cleanups. Sometimes I spend entire days working my tail off for absolutely $0. But it's the things you have to do if you want your business to be successful and you want your equipment to take care of you when you're trying to earn a living. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me. Hope you enjoyed seeing the side of what it's like whenever you're trying to run a small business and not everything is as exciting as you think. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I love you and I'll see you in the next one.